So imagine you book this lovely hotel room online, right? Say it's 90 euros a night. You pay in advance, you fly out to Barcelona, and you arrive at the front desk.
Yeah, and then the clerk smiles warmly and asks for another 60 euros in cash.
Exactly. And it is not a scam, and it isn't a mistake. It is completely legal.
Right, it's the ultimate travel shock. I mean, the room rate you advertised and booked is one thing, but the city tax you owe locally is another entirely.
They're two completely different numbers. So for this deep dive, we are tailoring our conversation specifically for you, the English learner.
Yeah, we are keeping our pace relaxed, but we're definitely moving past, basic textbook definitions.
Because we want to give you the tactical vocabulary you need to navigate the 4 types of visitor charges you will face in 2026. And, of course, exactly how to handle that front desk interaction so you never freeze up.
Which is highly relevant because in 2026, these extra charges stopped being just a European quirk and became a global default.
Right. It feels a bit like buying a coffee, but then suddenly being charged an extra levy like a mandatory government fee just to use the cafe's plumbing.
That is a great analogy.
So why did cities suddenly make this a worldwide standard?
Well, because the math simply stopped working. I mean, think about a historic city center with maybe 50,000 residents, but 20 million annual visitors.
Wow, yeah, that is a huge imbalance.
Right, and all those visitors are using the buses, the water, emergency services, but they don't pay local property taxes. So local residents were effectively subsidizing the tourists.
Hey, so the locals were paying out of their own pockets to maintain the infrastructure that the visitors were wearing out.
Exactly. So now cities use these taxes to earmark funds for very specific local needs, setting the money aside for a dedicated purpose.
Like Barcelona, right?
Yeah.
They earmark 25% of their new tourist tax revenue specifically for affordable housing.
Yes. And because these demand management filters are here to stay, you are absolutely guaranteed to face them. And they hit you at different stages of your journey.
Starting before you even land.
Yeah. Take the departure tax. Japan tripled theirs to 3,000 yen, which is actually baked directly into your airline ticket. You pay it without even realizing.
And then you arrive at the destination. If you are going somewhere like Venice, you might face an entry fee. They charge 10 euros just for day trippers.
Which makes sense, actually. If you just visit for the day, you aren't booking a hotel, so the city can't charge you a standard hotel tax. They have to charge you just to walk through the gates.
Right. But the most common and sometimes the most shocking one is the accommodation tax at the front desk.
Yeah. Some cities, like Amsterdam, charge a percentage of your room rate. Others, like Barcelona, charge a flat rate. And they often add a regional surcharge on top of that.
Oh, yeah. When Paris added a regional surcharge before the Olympics, the final bill just skyrocketed.
It really did.
But I want to highlight the sneakiest part of that flat rate, the phrase per person per night. If 2 of you stay for 6 nights, you are paying that tax 12 times.
It adds up so fast. And let's not forget the resort fee, which is very common in the US and Hawaii, where hotels charge you separately just to access the Wi-Fi or pool towels.
Okay, I do have to push back a bit on those flat rate taxes, though. I mean, if everyone pays the exact same fee, that really hurts a backpacker on a budget, but a luxury traveler won't even notice it.
That is very true.
So is this secretly a filter to only attract wealthier tourists?
It raises an important question, and honestly, yes. I mean, the European Parliament passed an over-tourism resolution in 2026 that treats mass visitors as a challenge to be managed.
So making the cost of being a guest very explicit is absolute demand management.
Exactly. It functions as a filter.
Well, since that true cost is so explicit now, let's talk about how you navigate that front desk interaction without panicking. Just asking, is that the final price? Doesn't always work.
No, it doesn't. The tactical phrase to use before you even book is that inclusive of all taxes?
Inclusive of. That is the magic phrase. It forces them to disclose the hidden fees up front.
Right. And often their reply will be that the tax is payable on arrival, meaning you have to hand over the money the exact moment you reach the front desk.
And if you arrive and the bill looks wrong, don't argue with them. Just ask politely, could you break it down for me?
That is such a good de-escalation tactic. Asking them to break it down forces the clerk to explain every separate part of that total charge line by line.
Also, as they break it down, always check if you are exempt, like if you don't have to pay it at all.
Yes, many cities decide that children or students are completely exempt, so always ask if an exemption applies to your group.
So what does this all mean for you, the modern traveler?
Well, what's fascinating here is that the true skill of a 2026 traveler isn't finding loopholes to avoid taxes. It is having the clarity and the exact vocabulary to see clearly what you are paying for.
Which brings us right back to that front desk in Barcelona. The cost of visiting the world's great cities is now printed right on your receipt.
It really is.
So, I will leave you with this to think about. The last time you visited a crowded, beautiful destination, did you leave behind more than you took? If a city put a strict financial number on your visit tomorrow, would it feel unfair or roughly right?